You guys doing today? I told you last week when I did the announcements that the guy teaching this week was going to be amazing. He wasn't able to show up, so I have to do it. Just kidding. I was hoping, wow, really? I was hoping that joke would land a little better. If I have not had the pleasure to meet you yet, my name is Scott. I am one of the pastors here at our wonderful church. How many of you guys, it's your first time here? One person, awesome. Welcome, welcome. So today is Mother's Day, as you already know. We've got bounce houses and virgin mimosas and all kinds of wonderful stuff. I don't know if you know about this, but statistically, Mother's Day is one of the days where crime falls the most. And one of the reasons is because all the mothers are on brunch instead of going out doing petty crimes. So, this is if you want to help the crime rate in San Diego, take your mom out to brunch so she's not out vandalizing and doing petty theft and stuff like she would normally do, okay? I'm just kidding. So not only is today Mother's Day, but tomorrow is a special night for the men. Please don't take over my computer. There's supposed to be a slide, but my computer's already taken over, and we'd have to battle computer wars. And I don't want to do that. Tomorrow is Man Monday, which is fajita. I know Cinco de Mayo's already passed, but we're going to be doing a Cinco de Mayo themed fajitas, and there's going to be a piñata filled with stuff that men like. Slim Jims, I guess. I don't know exactly what's going to be. It's manly stuff. When George told me it's going to be filled with manly stuff, I was like, What does that mean? I don't understand. But it's going to be awesome. A little bit about me real quick. About 5 years ago, 7 years. It's been 7 years. Oh my goodness. I decided to start my own business. And I failed miserably. And so I was like, all right, that one failed. Let me try another one. So I tried another one. And that one also failed. And then I got into real estate. I had some mild success in real estate, but then I eventually walked away from it because I did not have what it takes to make a living in real estate. And that was 7 years of just failure after failure after failure after failure. And I gave it my best. It wasn't like I wasn't trying. I was trying. I was like, I'm going to do this. And my best led to failure, right? And so, of course, I'm beating myself up. What's wrong with me? Why can't I pull my act together? Why? Just my best wasn't good enough. And I really started to get frustrated and angry at myself. And if you are a mom, I know that you can relate. It's easy as a mom, as parents. So realize I'm going to be talking to the moms, but my teaching is applicable to everybody. But as a mom, it's easy to feel like your best isn't good enough, especially when you have the social media out there with all the influencers doing all the things that you want to do but don't have time for, and you're like, I am trying my hardest to be good, and I feel like I am failing my children on a regular basis, right? There's never enough time to get anything done. Like laundry never stops. It's like, didn't I just do this yesterday? And there's so many activities if your kids are in sports that you don't have time to do everything you need to do, right? You feel bad about how much screen time your children are getting, and you want them to go play outside, But kids don't play outside anymore. So you have, okay, I guess I have to give them screen time. And you feel like you're failing them somehow. And you stress about expenses, especially today, right? Number one, kids are expensive. Number two, everything is so much more expensive, right? McDonald's for my family of 5 used to be like $30. It's $50 now. And you're just like, how am I going to give my kids everything that they need when it's hard to just keep the lights on? And you feel bad for not being able to do all the things your parents did for you. You want to give them all the opportunities, right? They need to do well in sports and in school, and they need to learn how to speak Mandarin Chinese. And there's all these things because you want them to have a good life. And so you're like, there's all these things that I should be doing, I could be doing to give them this great life ahead. And then you feel like a bad mom for losing your temper. You feel guilty for allowing them to eat the things that they're eating. Right? Sometimes it's just easier. You're just like, I'm not going to fight this battle. Yes, you can eat junk food because I can't deal with you anymore. And it's honestly, sometimes we just give in just because we're like, I can't. You've worn me out. I've got nothing left. Please just go away and be quiet. Right? And if a bag of Doritos and some screen time is going to give me a break, go knock yourselves out. There is so much that you feel like you have to do right, that in the end you feel like you're doing almost everything wrong. Can you relate? And it's when you feel like you need to be perfect at everything, you eventually feel like you're failing at everything. And that causes guilt and depression and anxiety, and you start beating yourself up. And the reason why we feel that way is because we have the wrong focus. So I want to talk about making a shift in your focus today. Focusing on the things that truly matter as a mother. So the question is, what truly matters as a mom? Focusing on Jesus? Yeah, most people, it's like if my kids are just like, if they just love Jesus, I'm good. But to be successful, there's only a couple things you really need to focus on as a mother. There's only a couple things. Turn to the person and say, only a couple. There's only a couple things. Mom guilt comes from focusing on the wrong things. The guilt that you have as a mother comes from you focusing on the wrong things. There's only 2 things you need to focus on. We're going to go over them. We are actually going to be looking at Moses' mom. I will be referring to her as Moses' mom because her name is Jehoshaphat. She's Moses' mom, okay? I didn't put that one up. Whoa, it's just going on me. My slides are just going. Ooh, it's just going all by itself. This is horrible. I don't know. There must be a timer on these things. Can I stop? Stop. It's going to change on me, I know it. Anyway, by faith, see, I told you. Take it over. All right. It's so sad. Hebrews 11, 23 through 27. I didn't realize there was a timer on my slides. Says, by faith, Moses, when he was born, was hidden for 3 months by his parents because they saw that the child was beautiful and they were not afraid of the king's edict. By faith, thanks, you just need to take off the timer on each slide. I love you, Peter. By faith, Moses, when he was growing up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to be mistreated with the people of God than enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. He considered the reproach of Christ greater wealth than the treasures of Egypt, for he was looking to the reward. By faith, he left Egypt, not being afraid of the anger of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. So, Moses' mom had every mom's dream. She raised a son that did something with his life, right? It wasn't like this. The last thing you want as a mother is like, I don't want my child to be a deadbeat, do nothing, stay at home, can't fend for himself. Mother's mom raised a child that basically wrote 4 or 5 of the books of the Bible, right? Kind of a cool thing. What is the point of motherhood? So if motherhood is being a success, and you look at Moses' mom, what is the point of motherhood? A lot of times we think the point of motherhood is just like, if my child's saved, I'm good. But I would challenge that. That is too small of a goal. And the reason is, I know, and you know, people who love Jesus and their lives are a complete train wreck. They're dating the wrong kinds of people. They're wasting their money. You name it, they cannot function in life. So it's not just that the goal of motherhood is getting your children to love Jesus. It's the goal is getting your child, raising kids that reflect and honor God in every area of their life. That's the goal. Oh, did you fix it? Look at you. You're so awesome. I love you. Yay, Peter. So the goal of motherhood is to raise kids that reflect and honor God in every area of their life. Turn to the person next to you and tell them what the goal of motherhood is. All right, so let's look at Moses' mom and what she did. Number one, she hid him based off of the verse that you couldn't read because it kept changing. The first thing she did was she hid her son for 3 months from the Pharaoh, right? Because there was, if you're not familiar with this story, there's an edict. There's too many Jews populating. The Egyptians feel threatened, so they're like, let's kill all of the male kids. So they were killing all the male kids. And so Moses' mom hid him, right? It says that he was beautiful. She was just like, my baby's too precious. And so even though she knew it would have been a death sentence for her and her rest of her family to go against Pharaoh, she chose to hide him anyway. Right? But then there comes a time where you can't hide him anymore. And so she makes a very difficult decision. Just think about this as a mother. You have a child that is going to be put to death. You hide your child for a few months, and you get to the point where you have no other option. She must have been running through, well, I could do this, I could flee Egypt, like every mother does. You probably obsessed at night thinking of all the different things she could probably do to save her child. And her last option is right here. This is what she does. When she could no longer hide him, she took for him a basket made of brushes and dabbed them in pitch. Bitumen. I don't even know what bitumen is. Tar. And she put the child in it and placed it among the reeds by the riverbank, and his sister stood at a distance to know what would be done with him. Ultimately, she came to the realization that I can't save this child's life. And she got to the point where the only option is just to trust God. At least give my child a chance. Think about how risky that is. somebody besides the Pharaoh's daughter could have found Moses. Somebody who would have happily killed him. She just didn't know. She's just like, my baby's special. I can't give him up. I can't let him die. God, please do something. Right? And what's interesting is Moses' sister stays and watches. Probably because the mom couldn't just be there. She's like, you stay and watch and tell me, because I can't. She's like, I can't save him. If he's going to live, it's got to be something that God does. And this is the very first focus that we need to have as mothers, is trust God with your children. Trust God with your children, right? It's crazy that there's still mothers in the world that are making the same choice as Moses' mom. That there's places in the world that if your child lives, you're a good mom. Right? The landscape that we live in is very, very different. You're a good mom if you limit screen time, if they get a good education, if they play sports, if they did it, the list goes on and on and on and on, right? It's a completely different landscape that we live in. We have too many choices and too many options, right? Now it's all about giving them the best opportunities, right? I need to set up my kids for success in life. But just like Moses' mom didn't know if she would live, you and I have no clue how our kids are going to turn out, what they're going to do, right? Life is circuitous. At one point, I loved baseball. I was so passionate about baseball. I loved it. And then I went from baseball to theater. And I thought, I'm going to be an actor. And then I went from theater to music. And I was like, I'm going to be a musician. I was in a band, all that stuff. And then I went from loving all of that to loving alcohol. Right? And I walked away from God. And then I eventually came back to God and started loving the things of God. Our lives are so bendy and twisty, and your kids, you have no clue what they're going to do, how life is going to grab a hold of them. It is impossible to foresee all the things that they are actually going to need to succeed in life. Right? We have no clue what God's plans are for them. And we are incapable of setting up the perfect opportunities for them. All those things that good mothers should be doing, right? We're like, you're a good mother if you do all those things. What mothers really need to do is trust God with your child. Instead of this list of all these things that you have to check off, God, you've got it. Sometimes our perspective of God is like God gives us, or our child, because God gives us our child, and he's like, oh man, I really don't know what to do with this one. If you screw this one up, I can't, there's nothing, it's all on you. And sometimes that's how we feel with our kids, right? It's like, you're my last hope. I gave you this one because I don't know what to do with this one. Please don't screw them up. And that can be our attitude towards our kids, like it's all on me. That if I'm not doing a good job, their life is going to be destroyed. But the reality is God has plans that you don't know about. And what we want to do is focus on the controllables. There's things you can control in life and things you just can't control in life. And a lot of times what we do as humans is we like to try and control the things that we cannot control. Right? There's two things you can control. 100% of the time with your life. You know what they are? Okay, your reaction, which is your attitude. Actually, your reaction would be your actions. I just gave you both of them. Your actions and your attitude. There's only two things in your life that you're 100% in control of. That's your actions and your attitude. Right? Actions, as a mother, you've got to be okay. Let your best be your best. Do your best. How many mothers are doing their best? You feel like I am doing my best. There's only like 3 of you. All right. This is a good topic. I know, so you feel like you could do more, right? I'm not talking about doing more. I'm talking about your best, given your situation, given your time constraints, given your financial constraints, given where you're at emotionally, relationally, right? Your best is not somebody else's best. And I think that's why a whole bunch of people didn't raise their hand, right? Because there's all these influencers on social media that are doing, milking their cows and making sourdough and homeschooling and have their own business. And you look at all these people and you're like, oh my gosh, they're doing so much more for their child than I am. But realize it's all fake. I don't know if you've come to realize this. Social media is fake. I mean, you guys all know the influencer mothers that are in jail for child abuse? You didn't hear about that? 2 ladies, huge influencers on motherhood, went to prison for 30 years for abusing their children and starving them. It's all fake. You're looking at people who don't, they have it together as much as you do. They're just pretending like they're better than you, like they have it together, right? Your best, nobody is perfect. No one is perfect, right? We all yell at our kids. How many of you have never yelled at your kid? Exactly. We all yell, but you yell, you lose your temperature and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm such a horrible mom. No, you're not. You're just human. Kids have a unique way of just like pushing your buttons until I'm going to strangle you. The other day, I picked my kids up from school, and they wanted shaved ice, so we stayed after. We got them shaved ice. They wanted to play. I let them play for like 30 minutes, get in the car, 20-minute drive home. All they're doing is bickering and fighting with each other. 20-minute drive. Well, you said, stop touching me. At about 15 minutes, I lost it. I'm like, you guys, I just bought you ice cream, let you play, and this is how you repay me. By driving me crazy. And I think the difference between guys and women are men are like, yeah, they deserved it. Sometimes you yell at your kids, and they deserve to be yelled at. They deserve to be like, hey, what you're doing is inappropriate. You need to stop. They need to be spoken to with authority. Right? And sometimes it's just us and our issues, and we're just having a bad day, and we just scream at everybody. Right? But women, they yell, and they're like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. Sometimes it is appropriate to yell at your kids. Right? It doesn't make you a bad mom for losing your temper. It makes you human. Just makes you human. What you have to realize when you're talking about your best effort is not perfection. You are incapable of perfection. I am a flawed, screwed up man. I fail my wife constantly. I fail my children constantly. I fail my friends constantly. I'm filled with flaws. I'm always dropping the ball, letting things fall through the cracks, doing this, doing that, being selfish, you name it. We're all like that. And what we need to do is not strive for perfection, but my best effort, given the constraints that you are under in your life. Right? Some people, so if you're like a stay-at-home mom, your best effort will look different if you are a working mom. Right? And if you're a working mom, your best effort will look different if you're a single mom. There's different constraints on your time and your money and your energy. It's not about you doing what the other people are doing, but doing what is the best for what you have and being okay with that. Does that make sense? Right? Like parenting styles. There's this whole thing about gentle parenting that is going around on the internet. Gentle parenting is instead of telling them no, you should tell them, hey, and you talk. So, and some mothers I know, they feel convicted that like, I yell at my kids, but I should be more gentle. Here's the secret of parenting. Are you ready? Which parenting style is correct? Whichever one works for you. That's really, it boils down to. There's two main like schools of parenting styles. One school of parenting style is it's child directed, right? You let the child direct the parenting. And the other one is the parenting directed. And whatever parenting style that you listen to, they will tell you, if you don't listen to my style, you will destroy your kids. This room is filled with people that had all different kinds of parenting styles. You guys are not destroyed. Don't choose whichever parenting style is right for you. And when you see other people being like, oh, you should be more gentle, just ignore them. Unless you want to be gentle. And if you want to be gentle, awesome. Then the people that are like, oh, you need to be more, ignore them. Your parenting style needs to be a choice between you and, if you are married, your spouse. And that's it. And don't feel bad that you're not doing it the way other people are doing it. So you want to do your best. You don't need to be perfect. Next thing is your attitude. You have limited resources. You have limited mental resources, emotional resources, time, money, etc. Going bankrupt in all those areas of your life is not a winning strategy. We all have limits, right? Like Moses' mom basically said, this is the best I can do. I've done with what I have. This is all I've done. God, you need to do. You need to help me out where I'm failing, because I'm failing. I'm falling short. And so we need to say, God, I've done my best, and I need you to fill in the cracks and the holes. Because I don't have the mental capabilities right now to do this. I don't have the emotional. I don't have the this. I don't have the that. And those are the only two things we can focus on that we can control. And if you try to focus on anything else, it results in guilt. Second thing, the second focus is in Exodus 2, 7 through 10. It says, then his sister, I won't read it because you already know, I'll just tell you the story. So she sends her baby boy out, and Pharaoh's daughter finds it. And that's when Moses' sister was like, hey, it looks like you need somebody to feed the child, to wet nurse the child. And she's like, I know just the person. And so she was able, not only did she entrust her child to the Lord brought her child back to her. And she was able to raise him for a few years. Right? And this is the second focus. This is the most important one. Your relational investment. Moses' mom spent the formative years. Moses spent the formative years of his life with his mom, right? And this is just speculation because we don't know for sure, but this might be one of the reasons why Moses identified as Hebrew, right? That, hey, she raised the most formative years are like 1 to 5. She raised him and was there for him 1 to 5. And then sent him back. And that might be why Moses was the man that he was. And this is your sweet spot, ladies, relational investment. It's what you do best. It is your zone of excellence. Men and women are very different. Women, you excel at this. Men, we struggle sometimes. Build a solid, loving, nurturing relationship with your kids. You want to become the safe place for your children so they can launch out and explore the world, and when they get injured, scared, hurt, come back to their safe place. My kids, when they get hurt, they never come to me. I try, and they're like, no. I want mom. Where's mom? Like, no, I can help you. Like, no. You're like, rub some dirt on it. You're fine. I don't want the tough love, Dad. I want the caring, compassionate. Don't undervalue this. This is the one thing that transforms your children's lives, is your ability to be relationally invested in them. It's crazy. We are killing ourselves trying to give our kids opportunities when the most valuable thing that you have is right in front of you. And you'll give them all these amazing things, and guess what they're going to do with all those amazing opportunities that you killed yourself to do? They're going to squander them, just like I did. I mean, I appreciate all the sacrifices my parents did, but I wasted almost every opportunity. And I know you did too, because you're a human. And we kill ourselves trying to give them all these opportunities that really they're going to waste. It's like my child. I love him to death, my oldest. He sent me sneakers that he wants. $200 sneakers. He's only 12. It's like, those will be destroyed in like 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe when you're like in your 20s, when you know how to like take care of stuff, I might give you that for like a birthday present or something, but not right now. And that's the mentality that we fall into sometimes. We want to give all these opportunities, all these good things that they're just going to waste and not take care of. And the greatest impact that you can have isn't the things you are offering your child, it's actually you. You are the most valuable thing that you have for your child. And I know some of you mothers don't believe it, but it's really you. You are the gold in their life. I think about my mom. I have no idea I don't even really remember what she did for me. But I love her to death. And I am so thankful that she was in my life and she was nurturing and caring to me. And you probably think the same thing. The things that make us great are the relational investments that the mom puts in us. Not all that other junk that you're supposed to be doing. You are the gold. And some of us are like, it's too easy. Just being me, just being loving, really? That's it? That sounds too easy. Where's my list to check off, my stuff I have to do? There is an endless list. As a mother, there's an endless list of stuff you have to do. It never ends. But those aren't the important parts. The important parts is your relationship with your kid. It's like dads. I don't know if you know about this. If a dad is in a house, right, he's part of the family, and he's just present, the outcome in the children's lives are vastly improved. It's not even a good dad. It's just being present in the house dramatically changes. And that's the same thing as a mother. Just you being involved in their life will dramatically set them up for success. And finding a good husband and figuring out what good friendships look like and all the things that really matter. And so the question as we wrap up, how does your focus need to shift today? And I don't want you to feel like, oh, he's telling me I'm screwing up again. You're not screwing up. You just change your focus a little bit. How does your focus need to change? Do you need to actually believe that you are the best gift for your child? Do you really need to? Some of you just need to yes, I actually am. I need to believe that. Because you are. You're the best thing for them. And just believe and invest in that relationship and ignore all the other stuff the internet is trying to tell you have to do. Do you realize that you are the best gift to your child even when you're a hot mess? Sometimes, right? We've all felt like a hot mess once or twice. Is it just me? Moms, even when you feel like you are a hot mess, you're the best gift for your child. You're still the best gift to your child. Even as you're yelling at them and you're like, I feel so bad for losing my temper, you're still the best gift to them. Because one of the things that you get to do afterwards, because I do this all the time, because I tend to yell, I sit down with my kids and I'm like, you know what? Daddy was out of line. I snapped. I shouldn't have snapped. Could you please forgive me? And that's gold. It's not the snapping. It's the, okay, I'm admitting, showing them what to do when you make a mistake. Even when you're a hot mess, you are still the best thing that they could ever have. Do you need to trust God with your kids? That's a big one. God, fathers, dads, they're like, yeah, go. It's good for them. Let them break an arm. They'll learn. Right? But mothers, you are beautifully, beautifully nurturing. And it's an amazing thing, but you cannot nurture them the way God can. Right? You have a spot to nurture, but there's parts where you just like, God, I need to trust you. Or is it that you just need to be content with your best? Not somebody else's best, but your best. At the end of the day, did I try as hard as I can? Yes, I did. Then you did a great job. If you tried as hard as you can, and even if you messed up, your best is all you got. You can't do better than your best. Right? I don't know if you've learned that. How many of you can do better than your best? How many of you have tried to do better than your best? You guys are all liars. All of you are liars. Think about it. How does it work out when you try to do better than your best? You usually make it worse. Right? Just be happy. Like, did I give my best effort? Yes. Then today was a good day. And trust God with everything else. So, that's all I have for you today. We have virgin mimosas which is just orange juice and a really, really good food, and bounce houses for you moms. So you, no, it's not for the moms. It's so you can take your kids and without guilt say, Mommy needs some time. All right, so enjoy your relationships, enjoy your food. Let me pray for you. Dear Father, thank you so much for your grace and your mercy. We are, all of us, flawed individuals, and we pray that you would help us emulate Moses' mom, trusting you in all the areas that we just are incapable. And we pray for our children, we entrust them to you, and we just ask that you would raise them into extraordinary adults that love you and with every aspect of their life. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you guys.